Greetings, enchanted ones. It's ELAmental here, and tonight I'm here to bring you your full spectrum Oracle Tarot reading for the evening. This is a really good one, and remember that this reading is as much for me as it is for you. So let's get right to the reading, keeping it more short and concise so it's more easily digestible for you guys. So much love, and I'll see you on the other side of the reading. Okay, so here's our spread for this evening. I decided until I get a tripod, it's going to be a lot easier for me to just go ahead and flip the cards off camera to give you better, more concise descriptions as well. So, our animal spirit for this evening is the snow leopard. And out of the animal deck is always the most direct and concise, so this is pretty simple. Take some time out of your life and spend it in solitude, calling for time with yourself, which I've been trying to get and know I need already. This card out of the plant spirit deck is comfrey, and it is asking what needs mending. Now this card was particularly interesting in this reading. It speaks on the fact that there's a rare release in breaking something instead of repairing it, and how unmaking is as much a part of the cycle of life as making, and breaking can be incredibly liberating. So there's something to that, and a lot of times, you want to repair something, and it oftentimes is so difficult and more stressful than it's worth. And I don't mean physical items, I mean just things in general in your life. This card was particularly good for me. I'm posting the ritual and associated reflection with that card in the pictures below the video, as well as the full descriptions of the rest of these. Now for the Gaia spirit tarot channeling. So as before, past influence, present influence, major influence, advice card, and your future if the advice card is followed. Starting with the past influence, we happen to draw an elemental dragon here, which has in turn summons another dragon out of the dragon deck, which we'll get to in a minute. But this time, the elemental water dragon has appeared inverted and dictates a blockage. So this immediate past card is showing that you're denying or fighting our true feelings because of an overwhelming situation, and I know that definitely holds true for me. It also indicates that the one you love may have not have been who you thought them to be, and it reminds you that you can't force people to unwillingly change. It's also telling us to let down the barriers that we've built around our hearts and allow a loving experience to unfold free of fear's influence. And that's a big key too, and something that's very hard and I've been working on constantly. Moving on to the present influence. So for the present influence card, we have drawn the Counselor, or the 12 of Water. And the Counselor is telling us that a wise man or woman that is trusted, caring, and compassionate is here for you, ready to offer objective and non-judgmental advice, helping you understand the thoughts and feelings clouding your judgment. You must open your eyes to see him or her and open your heart to receive them. So that person is there waiting for you. You may or may not be aware of it, but take solace and comfort in the fact that there is somebody there that's going to help you through this in a way that others have not. This card symbolizes a need to be empathetic and objective when dealing with an emotionally complex situation, which can also be very difficult to do. It's also telling us to look beyond spoken words and to feel the emotions behind them, and also to keep your emotions in check, which is actually kind of a theme running through this entire reading. So this next card is our major influence, and this is the 3 of Earth. I actually drew this card not inverted the other day for a friend. This inverted card is telling us to not create distance between ourselves and the ones we love, and the intimacy and connection is essential for a happy human. You have to. It's also saying to fully understand your motives, and reminding us that if we constantly worry and second guess ourselves, that we'll likely make more mistakes. The card is mainly pointing to letting down the barriers that you put up in your heart. Understanding why you're doing the things or about to do the things that you're doing, and not to have a lack of confidence because of experiences that you may have had that might not have dealt with you so well. So this next card is the advice card, and this is the Queen of Air, or number 13 in that minor arcana. The Queen of Air, and this being the advice card, is this one really connects with me personally, and not just because the fact that my spirit guide, the owl, appeared in the Gaia reading here in this card on the advice card. So that to me personally, that's an even more direct message of, hey, listen to this. This is for you. So if you have a connection to an owl, pay particular attention to this part. The Queen of Air is asking us to see through deception to truth, which is a huge thing for me. It's asking us to be realists and think clearly. She's telling us that emotional detachment is necessary and to not allow emotions to cloud our judgment and perception. We must think things through and choose our words carefully. Facts are all that matter. Work to a strategy and speak directly with honesty and authority while being just and fair. And do not take offense, and show people respect who speak honestly and directly with you. And most importantly, be the master weaver who creates your own reality with precision and skill. Know what you want and how to get it. Powerful, powerful advice card. This next card is the future, if the advice card is followed. And here we turned up the scribe, or the 12 of air, which is right before the Queen of Air. Okay, so you will become a library for knowledge and wisdom of past, present, and future for the benefit of all mankind. Your achieved wisdom gives you no influence to use it for selfish gains. You develop a perpetual quest for knowledge that is deciphered without intellectual bias or prejudice. You'll become a man of letters and a multifaceted, well-rounded human. This card symbolizes the importance of recording life's journey and the importance of writing things down. Now that, as I was taking the notes to read to you guys for this reading, there was a whole section in the description on this card talking about how it's important to actually write things down physically for grounding, because oftentimes hard drives fail, computers crashes, and you lose all your work or in your media. And I thought that was kind of weird to see in a tarot book that it would actually mention all that technology, but it really actually kind of scared me, because I was at the very end of writing the description, the concise description for this last card to speak to you guys, and my computer literally turned off. And it's even more crazy because I lost that whole document and had to rewrite the entire thing. It was very frustrating. And it was like telling me to save my work right then and there. And I didn't hit the save button as I was reading it, which I should have, and I thought about doing, but I continued to write the last few lines instead. And as I was finishing the last line, it turned off. What's even crazier than that is that I just finished installing a surge protector under my desk that has an internal battery source in case the power goes out in my house, that if I am happen to be working on a project, my computer just won't turn off with the power outage. It'll stay on for another couple minutes in order for me to save my work. So I find that incredibly crazy. And I definitely think that was sort of a little miniature test and showing me like, hey, these are real messages. You need to listen to them and your intuition. So I'm going to take that little warning as a note to back up all of my Pro Tools session files, all my lyrics that I've written, all my recently created tracks that I've completed, just to make sure that I don't experience a massive loss of data that could lead to me having to redo everything on my new album that I've created so far. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the readings. Check the photos below the video for more in-depth descriptions on all these cards. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful, blessed evening. Oh, before we get out of here, this was the dragon that was summoned by the ELAmental. And the Queen of Swords, which is actually a similar card to the Queen of Air. It's the same number in the minor arcana and the same symbol. But it represents a determined person with a barrier between her or him and others, which is what one of the other cards was talking about in letting down the barriers of your heart to have a true experience of love. Very synergistic in the rest of the reading. Have a great night, guys.